Something like that happened right in front of him, but he was at the right place at the right time, but he still had to take action.
Former Lake Worth police officers facing a federal lawsuit accusing him of excessive use of deadly force.
Prepare to be surprised by the unexpected twists and turns that can occur right in front of the eyes of law enforcement officials. From heart-pounding chases to strange interactions, here are 30 most disturbing things caught on police dashcam footage. Number 1. Running over a biker. Officer Granado attempted to pull over Bates at the junction of Lake Worth Boulevard and Boat Club Road, which initiated the dramatic chain of events that followed. Bates, on the other hand, chose to flee on his motorcycle, initiating a chase that escalated and finally resulted in the unfortunate crash. Dustin Bates, the biker, has filed a federal lawsuit in Texas against Lake Worth officer Jonathan Granado. Bates claims that during a chase captured on dashcam film on November 23, 2020, the officer harmed him by running him over with his squad truck. The lawsuit claims that Officer Granado inadvertently injured Bates when his police vehicle collided with him. According to the lawsuit, Bates received severe injuries as a result of the incident, including a shattered spine, 3 broken ribs, and 2 fractures in his right leg. Bates has demanded a jury trial and demands specific punitive damages in his legal case. This lawsuit emphasizes the significance of law enforcement accountability and transparency. In this situation, dashcam film is vital evidence, putting light on the events that occurred and constituting the basis of the legal actions. It also emphasizes the importance of exercising caution and appropriate behavior during high-speed pursuits in order to avoid serious and life-altering injuries to all parties involved. Number 2. Saving a baby. Officer Brendan Fraser emerged as a true hero in an incredible event on a Warren, Michigan freeway. Fraser was on ordinary patrol when he noticed a speeding blue Camaro racing past his patrol car. He had no idea that this traffic stop would swiftly turn into a life-saving mission. Fraser immediately understood the gravity of the situation and leaped into action after pulling over. Disturbing video showed the terrifying moment an 18-month-old baby inside the automobile began to choke and turn blue. The mother's desperate calls for aid cut through the air. "Help! Help! We've got a baby in here!" Fraser lost no time in rushing inside the vehicle to help the distraught family. In the midst of the turmoil, he constantly inquired if the youngster had been diagnosed with COVID and was experiencing seizures. Despite their passionate pleas, Fraser stated flatly, "I'm not going to take him." The dash cam in his patrol vehicle then captured him conducting life-saving treatments, including caressing the baby's back and attempting to free him from the impediment that was suffocating him. A sigh of relief permeated the air as Fraser declared, "He's getting air! He's getting air! I can sense him." Officer Brendan Fraser's bravery in the face of adversity showed brilliantly that day, saving a life on the busy highway. Number 3. Officer lifts car. A Virginia sheriff's deputy saved a woman's life by single-handedly lifting an overturned automobile, which was filmed on his body camera. The terrifying accident occurred in Gloucester County when a car toppled, trapping a woman beneath. Her frantic son yelled for his mother, heightening the gravity of the situation. The Gloucester County Sheriff's Office issued a news release praising Deputy Holt for his extraordinary actions. Deputy Holt's prompt response as he arrived at the scene of the overturned truck was captured on body camera footage. He discovered the mother was trapped beneath the car, her head pinned by the sunroof, amid calls for aid. Deputy Holt, with extraordinary power and determination, told the young boy to walk away from the vehicle and then lifted the car with tremendous effort. Thanks to Deputy John Holt's brave intervention, the woman was finally able to remove herself from the life-threatening predicament. Number 4. Policeman saves his colleague. A dramatic occurrence in the United States highlighted a police officer's rapid response that averted a potential calamity, and the incredible moment was captured on camera, quickly becoming a viral hit. The Gate City Police Department reported the heart-stopping scene that occurred in Virginia. In the footage, 2 police officers are seen conversing with a group of citizens near their patrol car, which is stationed by the roadside. In an instant, chaos ensued as a white vehicle careened towards them at breakneck speed, heading straight for the police vehicle. The male officer's quick thinking and decisive actions rescued the day in the midst of the sudden threat. He was able to respond quickly with split-second instincts, bringing his female colleague to safety only minutes before calamity hit. The white vehicle collided with the patrol car, generating a violent accident that may have resulted in serious injury or worse. Number 5. Gas explosion. This incredible and horrific occurrence, seen on the in-car camera of a Stafford Township police cruiser, begins with a serene scene as it softly pans across the picturesque terrain of Oak Avenue. However, no one anticipated the coming massive disruption that was about to shatter the tranquil ambiance that had engulfed the neighborhood. In an unexpected and shocking turn of events, the house on Oak Avenue erupts into a massive explosion, sending shockwaves vibrating across the peaceful neighborhood. The sheer force of the blast injures 7 utility personnel, 2 of whom are in critical condition. The once empty house, which is now being renovated, has been turned to rubble, entirely destroyed by the explosive force. The debris field covers a quarter-mile radius, and surrounding residences sustain serious damage as a result. Number 6. SUV accident. A rollover mishap on Interstate 91 in Vermont injured the motorist and nearly collided with a state trooper who was attending to another accident. One morning, a silver SUV lost control while navigating a curve in the road, as seen on a cruiser's dash camera. The vehicle flipped through the median, pelting a trooper and a truck in the neighboring lane with debris. The Vermont State Police described the incident as a very close call on social media, highlighting that it might have been disastrous for both the officer and the family he had stopped to aid. Fortunately, the trooper was able to jump over the guardrail and avoid injury. 2 young children were fastened in car seats inside the SUV and were reported to be relatively all right by the police. The 28-year-old driver, who was not wearing a seatbelt, was thrown from the vehicle and suffered minor injuries. Investigators from the state police decided that none of the injuries were life-threatening, emphasizing the significance of wearing a seatbelt and the lucky ending of a situation that could have ended much worse for everyone involved. Number 7. Hit and run. A dramatic incident in West Palm Beach, Florida was seen on Dashcam and posted by the Florida Highway Patrol, emphasizing a near miss when a truck refused to comply with the move-over requirement. The video records a hit-and-run incident on the road, and West Palm Beach released it on Twitter. They raised concern in their article that the driver who caused the accident did not stop to help those injured. Fortunately, the situation was not more serious, with the motorist suffering just minor injuries and the trooper escaping uninjured. The West Palm Beach underlined the significance of always stopping to check on individuals after a crash, especially if there are injuries. This act of stopping and offering aid can make a significant difference in the safety of people involved in the collision. Authorities are still looking for the driver who failed to halt at the scene of the accident. Number 8. Golf course chase. A woman in Florida led law enforcement officials on a high-speed chase across a golf course in Vero Beach. The woman refused to comply with a traffic check in the Waterford Lakes community on an afternoon, according to the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. Instead of pulling over, she made a daring move, slamming through the Grand Harbor Golf Course's gate. The Sheriff's Office's video footage offers a vivid image of the astonishing incident. Golfers on the course tried to avoid the woman's SUV, which careened dangerously through the fairways. When deputies launched a pit maneuver, essentially boxing in the fleeing vehicle and forcing it to a standstill, the pursuit reached a critical stage. They eventually apprehended the driver. Jody Ann Harvey of Vero Beach was recognized as the lady behind the frenzied chase. Number 9. Florida man punches trooper. The Florida Highway Patrol has expressed genuine gratitude to many drivers who assisted a trooper who was involved in a physical conflict with a man in Tampa. Trooper Ruiz responded to a transmission that reported a person on the interstate's left shoulder near Exit 5. Alexander Hernandez Delgado, a Tampa man wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt and carrying a duffel bag, was strolling eastbound. Trooper Ruiz learned Delgado claimed to be an artist who had been booted out of his home by his mother after contacting him and questioning his presence. Following a database check, Trooper Ruiz attempted to search Delgado and place him in the rear of his patrol car in an attempt to help him off the freeway. The scenario, however, took an unexpected turn, as seen by the dash camera video. Delgado swung a punch that struck Trooper Ruiz in the face, resulting in a violent altercation. Despite the trooper's efforts to overpower Delgado, the battle raged on. The dash camera film showed Delgado resisting arrest and striking Trooper Ruiz as the incident unfolded. Fortunately, other concerned vehicles pulled over and rushed to the trooper's rescue, assisting him in subduing Delgado and preventing additional harm. Number 10. Head-on collision. On February 21, 2022, the Middleton Police Department released video footage of a worrisome event near the junction of Century Avenue and High Road in Middleton. A police car is seen going through the intersection in the footage when another vehicle joins the scene, driving on the wrong side of the road and crashing with the police car. The two policemen in the patrol car suffered minor injuries as a result of the terrifying crash, according to the Middleton Police Department. The Dane County Sheriff's Office acted quickly in reaction to the event, arresting the driver of the second vehicle on accusations of operating while intoxicated and other traffic offenses. This incident serves as a harsh reminder of the possible perils that officers of the law face while on the job. Despite their dedication to community safety, cops may find themselves in dangerous situations. Number 11. Tragic crash. A tragic crash in Colorado was captured on video, demonstrating the essential need for drivers to follow safety precautions when encountering emergency vehicles on the road. The terrifying incident occurred in Adams County, as captured on dashcam footage, highlighting the potentially disastrous repercussions of failing to shift lanes or decreasing speed while facing emergency vehicles. According to the Colorado State Patrol, Master Trooper Travis Hood pulled a Kia sedan for speeding. The Kia came to an abrupt halt on the wide shoulder to the left of the high-occupancy vehicle lane. At the same time, Trooper Hood was walking from the Kia to his motorcycle when a Dodge minivan hit the rear of the Kia. Trooper Hood went into action without hesitation, quickly assessing the well-being of everyone involved and requesting aid. Following the accident, it was discovered that the driver of the Kia suffered moderate injuries, while the driver of the minivan, who was from Avondale, had minor injuries. Two occupants in the minivan were also injured in moderate ways. Number 12. Truck crash. A Gallatin County Sheriff deputy nearly dodged a dangerous situation on a fateful day when a vehicle lost control and raced across the median, striking a car that had pulled over on the side of the road. The terrifying incident was filmed on the dash camera of a sheriff's department vehicle and has since gone viral. An automobile is seen parked in the median of Interstate 90 on the video, with Deputy Sheriff Adam Dunlap engaged in conversation with the people inside. When a truck on the opposite side of the road lost traction and skidded uncontrollably across the median, the situation took an unexpected and frightening turn. The vehicle eventually crashed with the stalled car, creating a potentially dangerous and life-threatening situation for everyone concerned. Fortunately, Deputy Sheriff Adam Dunlap's quick thinking and prompt response served to lessen the severity of the tragedy. His actions in analyzing the situation and taking essential precautions were most likely critical in ensuring the safety and well-being of everyone involved in the crash. Number 13. 39. Car pileup. The Shawano Police Department in Wisconsin just made public dashcam footage that captured Officer Jeff Buettner's remarkable and heroic efforts during a major 39-car pileup in Marathon County. Officer Buettner demonstrated tremendous bravery and selflessness in the midst of this terrifying scenario, eventually rushing to the help of those stranded in their automobiles. He miraculously survived the event with no significant injuries. The police department's video footage depicts the chaotic scene of the multi-vehicle crash, emphasizing the extreme danger and confusion that occurred on that fatal day. Officer Buettner's quick response and strong commitment to the protection of others shine through despite the risky conditions. His brave acts, which included rescuing those stuck in their cars, serve as an encouraging example of law enforcement officers' selflessness and perseverance in the face of difficult and unpredictable situations. Officer Buettner's bravery and determination highlight the crucial role that first responders play in saving lives and limiting catastrophic effects. Number 14. Stopping drunk driver. Trooper Tony Shuck, a Florida state trooper, bravely drove her Chevy Tahoe into the path of a suspected drunk driver to avoid a potentially catastrophic collision with participants in a charity fun run. Trooper Shuck's cruiser captured dramatic footage of her veering decisively in front of Kristen K. Watts' car. Watts allegedly ignored lane closure signs on Interstate 225 during the Skyway $10,000, a charity road race staged on a Tampa Bay bridge to benefit military organizations. Trooper Shuck's swift actions were nothing short of heroic, as they saved the lives of hundreds of festival attendees. The unselfish response of this fearless trooper showed the value of law enforcement professionals like her, who automatically become the last line of defense in difficult situations. Number 15. Police chase. In 2017, a man called Fernando Kiala used a machete to attack two women, inflicting severe and potentially life-threatening injuries on them. Fortunately, both victims survived the horrible attack. Law enforcement officers were quickly dispatched to the scene in response to the sad situation. When the police arrived, they discovered Kiala attempting to flee in a white van, sparking a high-speed chase worthy of a Hollywood action film. A helicopter and many police cars joined the pursuit, persistently tailing Kiala as he raced down the highway and wove through several residential areas. Throughout the frantic chase, Kiala expertly avoided other vehicles and even performed risky actions, such as driving in reverse. The adrenaline-pumping chase lasted around 20 minutes, a tense episode that culminated when Kiala lost control of the van. He was apprehended, restrained, and arrested while surrounded by law enforcement officers. Kiala was sentenced to 8 years in jail for his heinous crimes in subsequent court proceedings. Number 16. Autopilot crash. Tesla's autopilot technology has a history of breaking rules, and it's unclear how long authorities will tolerate its tactics. The concept of self-driving cars remains divisive, with intense arguments in recent years. Critics sometimes cite cases such as the one in North Carolina, where a deputy and highway patrol officers were investigating a car wreck when a potentially fatal situation arose. In this terrifying event, a Tesla on autopilot slammed with the deputy's car at over 70 miles per hour. The deputy's truck was sideswiped, causing him to tumble to the ground and unwittingly take a patrol officer down with him. Fortunately, neither cop was seriously injured as a result of the incident. The Tesla driver stated that he was distracted by his phone at the moment of the collision, rendering him unable to avoid the collision. While he was charged with many offenses, all of them were later dropped. This tragedy serves as a clear warning that technology, including advanced driver assist systems such as Tesla's autopilot, cannot completely replace human awareness and accountability. Number 17. Dramatic arrest. The Evansville Police Department has released compelling body camera and dashcam footage of a dramatic arrest. The video depicts the conclusion of a chase led by a young police officer who had recently joined the force. The video begins as a police cruiser arrives on the scene, exposing a swarm of cops engaged in the arrest of a man. They quickly subdue the guy, Casey White, and place him in handcuffs before placing him on the hood of the dashcam-equipped vehicle. Vicky White, a prison officer unrelated to Casey White, assisted him in his escape from a 75 jail sentence. Following the escape, Vicky committed herself, prompting Casey's return to prison and the filing of charges against him in connection with Vicky's demise. Number 18. Train explosion. In 2005, Texarkana, Arkansas, witnessed a devastating train crash that would live in infamy. When two trains collided, a tremendous explosion occurred, illuminating the night sky with a brilliant, burning light. The collision caused a tank car to rupture, unleashing a dangerous and potentially lethal chemical gas into the surrounding environment. First responders, including police officer Randy McAdams, responded quickly. When McAdams arrived, he was faced with an unsettling sight. A dense, foreboding cloud of propylene gas was drifting around the region. Recognizing the impending danger, McAdams instinctively reversed his patrol car, distancing himself from the impending disaster. It was a life-saving decision that would be essential in the moments to come. Moments later, The horizon erupted in a cataclysmic explosion, releasing a massive fireball that rents the sky and throws a terrible glow over the morning darkness. Thick clouds of smoke billowed ominously, evoking images of a battle zone. Number 19, chaotic driver. After getting a 911 call about a reckless driver, the Byron Police Department in Georgia found itself in a stressful situation. The dashcam film that followed showed a succession of terrifying incidents. The video showed a chaotic scene as the reckless driver careened across the streets, endangering pedestrians and other drivers. One especially terrifying scene captured on video showed the driver striking pedestrians, with one desperately leaping over the oncoming car and another collapsing to the ground. The situation deteriorated further when police launched a brief pursuit in an attempt to catch the hazardous motorist. During the chase, the driver drove into many vehicles, leaving a path of carnage in their wake. Thankfully, the nightmare ended when local officers were able to stop the vehicle and forcibly remove the driver, who was then placed in handcuffs. A child was discovered in the back seat of the vehicle, further exacerbating the issue. In a touching turn of events, a concerned person intervened to save the youngster from the automobile, securing their safety. Number 20. Crash and explosion. The Hearst Police Department was called to a troubling event involving an automobile that had collided with a residence in the Dallas suburbs. As seasoned cops, they recognized the unpredictability of their job and the uncertainty that each call could bring. When officers arrived on the scene, dashcam footage revealed a disturbing sight. A white car had plowed into a dwelling, ostensibly due to brake failure. The wrecked car and the ruined house were clear reminders of the seriousness of the disaster. The stunning event, however, was yet to come. An unexpected and terrible explosion occurred as a responding officer neared the area. The house exploded into a tremendous blaze, sending debris flying in all directions. The first collision had damaged a gas line, resulting in a catastrophic explosion. Despite the terrifying intensity of the explosion, numerous people were hurt, but none of them died. Officers acted quickly, pulling the driver to safety and conducting extensive checks on the wrecked house and surrounding residences to ensure no more potential victims remained. Number 21. Shocking statement. A terrifying incident captured on dashcam film has shocked Georgia. During this tense interaction, Georgia Police Lieutenant Greg Abbott stopped a woman who expressed worry about the activities of certain police officers. In response, Abbott made a highly troubling statement that drew international notice. In the video, the woman, plainly terrified, expressed her dread and recalled incidents of police mistreatment. In a surprising turn of events, Abbott made the heinous claim that they only black people, adding, "But you're not black." Regardless of its aim or context, the remark was very disturbing. Whether it was intended as a joke or, as his lawyer argued, an attempt to leverage the passenger's words against her, the significance of the statement cannot be overstated. The officer's professionalism and judgment were called into question by the remark. Number 22. Flipping a pregnant woman's car. When confronted with a case involving a pregnant woman named Nicole Harper, the police chief admitted that both the community and his own officers anticipated an acceptable response. Harper was driving at 84 miles per hour in a 70-mile-per-hour zone, forcing Officer Rodney Dunn to intervene. Harper chose not to stop immediately after noticing Dunn's effort to pull her over by flashing the car's lights. According to her counsel, she felt it was risky to do so because of the road's short shoulders. Harper's statement was later supported by her own description of the incident, which was captured on dashcam video. Officer Dunn chose to use the pit maneuver after a 2-minute pursuit, which involved a car colliding with the rear wheel of a fleeing vehicle, causing it to spin sideways. In this example, the maneuver caused Harper's vehicle to crash and then flip over. Fortunately, neither Harper nor her unborn child were injured during the event. Harper filed a complaint against the Arkansas State Police after the incident, which was later settled. Number 23. Excessive force. Cortez Bufford had a terrifying interaction with law officers in April 2014, which was captured on dashcam film. Bufford's interaction with 3 St. Louis police officers took a truly troubling turn after he was initially pulled over for speeding and making an illegal U-turn. Dashcam film showed officers violently taking Bufford from his vehicle and using physical force against him, including kicking and tasering him. What was even more unsettling was the ominous moment that followed. One of the cops, who appeared to be aware of the camera's presence, was heard asking the others to stop before it could be switched off. He was saying, "Hold up, everybody, hold up, we on camera." This remark calls into question the police force's transparency and accountability. Bufford was detained at the scene, but the charges were later dismissed. Following the event, he took legal action and filed a lawsuit for excessive use of force, which resulted in the city resolving the case for $20,000. Number 24, man in trunk. At 3:30 a.m., police in Louisville, Kentucky, performed a late-night traffic check for a traffic violation. Everything appeared normal until they heard a muffled cry coming from the trunk. They opened the trunk with their arms drawn, only to find a shackled man inside. They learned more about the man's traumatic ordeal after questioning him. Sean Blomer was working the night shift at a Circle K gas station when he was attacked at random by 4 deranged guys. They severely beat him and then confined him to the trunk of his own automobile. Sean had been imprisoned in the trunk for 4 hours and was fading in and out of consciousness at the time of the traffic stop. The tragedy sends shivers down one's spine when one considers how easily such a horrible ordeal could have happened to any of us. It raises questions about Sean's fate if the cops had not interfered that night. Number 25, tornado. A police officer in Newcastle, Oklahoma, was patrolling the highway one afternoon when he noticed a change in the atmosphere. Everything around him became strangely quiet, devoid of the regular sounds of birds and the lovely breeze that filled the air. The cop instantly realized the enormity of the situation as the clouds above him swirled ominously and rain began to fall. A tornado was brewing. He found himself dangerously near with no time to flee. He parked his car and turned to pray at that moment. The cop stood there watching as the storm intensified and the tornado's funnel cloud approached him. He was forced to drive backward in a desperate bid to avoid the impending twister. To his right, he saw the tornado engulf an entire structure, which was both impressive and horrifying. The storm wreaked havoc on the town, and reports of downed power lines and flying debris bombarded his senses over the police radio. All the cop could do was follow the tornado's path, braving the mayhem and devastation to save survivors in any way he could. By the time the perilous weather system passed, the community had taken a high toll, with hundreds of lives tragically lost. Number 26, saving a child in a trolley. Officer Adam Brunswick was on solitary patrol in the tranquil hamlet of Spooner, Wisconsin, when an unexpected and disturbing event happened before his eyes. Officer Brunswick observed a toddler in a yellow shopping cart speeding out of the Dollar General store parking lot and straight into oncoming traffic. Recognizing the impending threat, he analyzed the situation quickly. Officer Brunswick took prompt action after realizing there was no safe method to stop the cart's course before it struck the road. He turned on his emergency lights and parked his police car in the center of the highway, effectively preventing traffic flow. Officer Brunswick hurried from his truck and arrived at the shopping cart in the nick of time, ensuring that no harm came to the child within. The child's mother later described the terrifying occurrence. She explained that she was busy loading another child into her car when the shopping cart abruptly slipped away, bringing her infant child along with it. Overwhelmed with relief and gratitude, she struggled to adequately express her gratitude to Officer Brunswick, who had heroically intervened and saved her child's life. Number 27, lightning strike. Gautier dashcam footage shows a police officer having an amazing and unexpected meeting. As the scenario progresses, ominous clouds build overhead, foreshadowing an approaching storm. A scorching bolt of lightning strikes the ground less than a quarter-mile distant with no warning. The sheer power of the lightning bolt temporarily blinds the officer, causing him to pull over and check the location of the lightning strike. When the officer arrives at the spot, he is faced with a strange sight. A chunk of cement that has been struck by lightning and is still smoldering, generating wisps of smoke. This unexpected occurrence leaves the police and any spectators in awe and inquiry into the mystery of what caused this lightning bolt to ignite and produce flames, an uncommon event not normally connected with lightning strikes. Unlike ordinary lightning strikes that may strike power generators or power lines, this incident looks to be one of a kind. Number 28. Plane landing. An officer was stationed in the median in Pinellas County, Florida, attentively watching for speeders when an unexpected and frightening incident unfolded before his eyes. The deputy's attention was drawn to aircraft flying dangerously near overhead. The abnormal movements of the jet indicated that the pilot had lost control, and the aircraft was in difficulty. This disturbing descent was seen on the deputy's dashcam, capturing the uncomfortable moment as the plane wobbled and plunged into the ground. The two officers jumped into action in response to the dangerous scenario. They arrived at the scene to see a trail of fallen trees and damaged wreckage scattered over the road. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, they quickly secured the scene by closing the road and summoning emergency medical personnel. Further research showed that the doomed plane belonged to Major League Baseball pitcher Roy Halladay. Tragically, an autopsy revealed the presence of various intoxicants in the athlete's system, indicating that he was impaired while flying the jet. Number 29. Identify convict. A police officer approaches a suspicious man in the sweltering heat of a Los Angeles summer day, initiating a conversation with unexpected repercussions. The individual, identifying himself as Robert Smith, offers the police a fairly convincing justification for his presence. Smith claims to be sleeping at a local hotel while working for his brother's roofing firm. He goes on to say that he is devoted to walking 12 kilometers every day, regardless of the weather. However, the officer notices a discrepancy when he goes more into the dialogue. The police officer contacts dispatch to compare the man's information to that of an escaped prisoner, Richard Lee McNair. The officer compares different identifying characteristics such as eye color, tattoos, facial hair, and more. Surprisingly, all of these features match the description of the escaped inmate. Despite the obvious similarities, the officer is persuaded by Smith's roofing narrative and agrees to free him. In a surprising turn of events, the officer later learns that Robert Smith was, in fact, Richard Lee McNair, the very escapee he had been looking for. Number 30. Rolling away. A police officer is about to return to his patrol car after a regular late-night traffic check in New Jersey on a dimly lit road when something unexpected catches his peripheral view. What happens next demonstrates the officer's exceptional reflexes and quick thinking. The officer exhibits tremendous agility as he rolls away from an oncoming car in a matter of seconds, narrowly escaping a possibly devastating crash. It was a remarkable performance of split-second decision-making and athletic capability that most certainly rescued him from major injury or worse. The officer's ability to react so quickly while being weighed down by a belt filled with heavy equipment is a credit to his training and the adrenaline rush that comes with high-stress situations. His immediate reaction in the face of imminent danger exemplifies the dedication and bravery displayed by law enforcement officials in the line of duty.